don't know why they're not in Nashville, and maybe someday they will be, but the Grizzlies are going to rebuild forever because nobody wants to either stay in Memphis or go to Memphis.
Yeah. And why is it a problem when LeBron says that? When everyone around the league says that. LeBron, I'm not LeBron's biggest fan, but the media runs a campaign slandering him because he said that you should move the Grizzlies from Memphis to Nashville, and they tried to make it a thing where he was playing golf with his white friends, so he wanted to seem cool with them. It's like, no, everyone just wants to see the Grizzlies move from Memphis to Nashville. The only thing Memphis has going for it is the birthplace of Elvis. It has the largest pyramid in North America with the Bass Pro Shops pyramid. It has some unique food spots, but other than that, that's it. Where Nashville is a bumpin' city right now that could use a pro sports team. Like, I don't get why there is an entire media campaign directed at LeBron where it's like, why would LeBron say that? Why wouldn't he mention the Jazz? I'm like, I don't know. Salt Lake is quickly becoming one of the most desirable cities to move to for people who want to be outdoors, and it is a growing hub, and there's a lot of money being invested there. I don't think you can say the same thing with Memphis, as much as it's not necessarily a NBA friendly city in Salt Lake. It's definitely a different vibe from the NBA, but like Memphis, comparing it to Salt Lake, I don't think there's a comparison really. You're not next to some of the best mountains in the world.
Let's also not forget that we're talking about a franchise that was originated in fucking Vancouver. They came from Vancouver. They said, I know where we should move to. Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis.
A city that hasn't been thriving since 1950. And B.B. King, since B.B. King was a young tot, a guy who died at 90 years old 10 years ago. Like, they decided that, the Vancouver Grizzlies, which, by the way, had the best uniforms in the day at one point, they said, you know what? We need to get out of Canada. We need to get out of Canada. Canada's bad news. Let's go to Memphis, Tennessee. It's like as if they had a map of 1950 and said, oh, yes, this is a thriving city. Let's go to Memphis. Meanwhile, in Nashville, a city that has pretty much doubled in size the last 15 years, has the Titans, has the Predators, and is slotted to potentially have a baseball team in the next decade. Nope. Let's go to Memphis because there's so much sports teams. Oh, wait, no, we're the only sports team there. And yet we still don't fill out our seats. And yet we can still get tickets for $5 on any given Sunday because the Memphis A always suck, and B because nobody goes to Memphis Grizzly games. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then you probably have like your AAA baseball team. Like outside of the Grizzlies, we go see the Memphis Shankers. So like, oh, great. Thank you. It seems like a great time.
And the highest crime city in the country. Very fun. Very exciting. That's what I want to do.
It is literally the least safe city in the country to walk on the sidewalk.
Well, also, like, every other, like, major, let's look at every other NBA team, right? Right. Boston, a lot of good things to do in Boston. New York, huge city, a lot of good things to see. If I want to see a Knicks game, I can also go to Times Square, go to Central Park, have a lot of fun. Miami, great time. Charlotte, beautiful state. Orlando, Philadelphia. We go down the list. And if we go in the West, the Lakers, amazing. LA's an amazing city. Phoenix, great city. The Clippers, LA again. Golden State, San Francisco, awesome. Denver, Colorado, great city. Like, we have all these cities that are good cities. San Antonio, I don't like it as much as Austin, but it's a good city to check out. Like, all these cities, we can check out other things. In Memphis, we're literally checking out the Bass Pro Pyramid and maybe seeing the Grizzlies. Maybe the Grizzlies. Because the other thing is, like, Memphis is known for barbecue, right? If you go 2 states down, where are you? Well, you're in Texas. Guess who has great barbecue? Texas. You go to the west, you have Virginia, and you have the South with all the Southern food over there. So, like, Memphis itself is not special. Tennessee's a great state. Memphis, terrible city.
It is genuinely the worst NBA city, though. Like, the only thing you could argue may be Portland, but, like, still Portland, you have the beach nearby. You have, like, access to a lot of nature there. And, like, you have some issues with it, but it's, like, concentrated in different areas where I don't think Portland's as, savable as Memphis at this point. Like, the only other city comparable as boring would be Oklahoma City, but boring is better than Memphis.
Would you rather, if we're comparing it to Portland, would you rather get shot with a hacky sack or a bullet? What would you prefer? I think I'd rather get shot by someone with gauges and a hacky sack and drinking their fucking chai latte than Memphis, which is just gruesome. I spent a total of about 8 hours in Memphis, and I think I spent about 9 hours too long there because I basically got there, slept, woke up, got a bagel at the Bass Pro Pyramid, and left. And that was too much time in Memphis.
It's like crazy how many people don't even know that the Bass Pro Shops pyramid is there. You're like, yeah, I went to the Bass Pro Shops pyramid. They're like, what? And you're like, yeah, it's the largest pyramid in North America, and it's just sitting in Memphis, and that's the only thing to do there. And oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's also on the border of Arkansas, which is, would you
the
like
worst state.
a hello to the worst driving you'll ever have in your life, where we put speed bumps on the highway even though we made it 85 miles per hour? Like, please pick one. So it's like, it's also hello to the worst state you will ever drive in.
And you know what? Like Phoenix has its issues driving in it, but they have a bunch of billboard lawyers, right? Rafi is a celebrity here. So is the divorced couple lawyers. Like there's all these divorce attorney accident lawyers in Arizona. You drive through the state of Arkansas and it's the same thing, but with crawfish ads. What would you rather see? Rafi's doofy face, or would you rather see a bunch of crawfish ads? Which, by the way, crawfish, not a real food. You don't eat that. That was we literally had crawfish as a science experiment in 6th grade where we had to like
Yeah.
take care of a crawfish. And this is something that you just decide to boil and eat when it's the size of like two of your fingers combined. Like, what are we doing here?
It's a bug.
You're eating a bug. And when like lobster exists, but this is like a poor
Yeah.
man's lobster. Like, this is lobster for the South, which makes sense why it's big in the South. But like, that's what it is.
Yeah. It's like crawfish, and then it's like, I looked up what there is to do in Little Rock, and they're like, the Bill Clinton Library. I'm like, I didn't know lizards could open up libraries.
And lo and behold, yeah, Arkansas is an awful state. Don't ever go to and there's a reason why there's no sports teams in Arkansas. You know why? Because Arkansas sucks. Simple as that.
Yeah. And they're like, national park they have there is like the Arkansas Hot Springs. And I heard it's just like a dusty bathhouse that you go into, and they're like, do you want us to pump the water in? They're like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, if you want a
Not
hot
good
spring,
reviews about that. I was just
go
like, who
somewhere
puts
else.
speed bumps on the highway though?
Yeah, that's just cruel. My car got wrecked driving through Arkansas. Luckily, we were saved with Texas shortly after.
Yeah. And then it's just Texas traffic, but what can you do about that when everyone wants to live here? But yeah, that's pretty much the NBA. It's our early predictions for the first round matchup. So I'm definitely hyped for basketball this weekend. Anything else on your mind for the NBA, or anything else you want to cover before what we were watching this week?
Yeah, I got what I've been watching lately. So I've told you I've been watching Two and a Half Men of late. So that's kind of got me down the rabbit hole of Charlie Sheen and what Charlie Sheen has offered to American cinemas everywhere. And
Okay.
so I watched Major Leagues, which is essentially based around the Indians, real team, by the way, based in Cleveland. But so they basically have this owner that takes over. It's like essentially like the genie bus of like the Bus family or the Steinbrenners, whatever it is. She takes over and she's trying to sell the team to Miami. So she guts the entire roster and just fills it in with a bunch of bums, basically. And Charlie Sheen happens to be one of those bums. Just a bunch of terrible people. But then they end up turning around and like winning the pennant. But Charlie Sheen in that, if I was born in whenever that movie came out, and Charlie Sheen was that guy, my personality would have been Charlie Sheen for probably a solid year or two after that, because he's the coolest character by far. The Major Leagues, classic baseball movie. Glad I finally watched it. But my takeaway is that from like 1989 to like, honestly, still to this day, Charlie Sheen might be the coolest actor who has lived ever.
Did he get like AIDS the same time as Michael?
I don't know if Charlie Sheen has AIDS, but it's one of those stats that even if it was a lie, if you said like, "Oh, Charlie Sheen has AIDS," I would go, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." I looked it up. He did get AIDS back in 2011, apparently. So right during his winning era, the winning era,
Yeah.
he collected every Infinity Stone, including AIDS. Good job, Charlie Sheen.
You know, there's definitely like, he is someone it's just, didn't grow up with him. I didn't grow up in that time period, and I just haven't got around to really watching anything he's done. But I do know he has a cult following, and a lot of people love him. And then it seemed like a lot of people embraced him when he went on Joe Rogan like a couple months ago. I think it was the day they were recording their podcast when Charlie Kirk got shot, actually. I saw
Yeah.
you that day in Phoenix, and a lot of people like received that very well.